Welcome to the fourth round of the Vinera Cup. This video is going to be a little different than normal. When I recorded this match, I forgot to unmute my mic, so I commentated over the entire thing, and none of it was recorded. So it has the game sounds, but it does not have the live commentary, so I'm going to just comment over the whole video. My opponent this round is a member of Cetra, which is the #1 guild in the game. Props to them. They've done a lot of good work, especially because they sort of created and re-rostered partial way through the game, so they don't necessarily have their original crew, at least not to my knowledge. So they've been doing a lot of good work since doing so. And another member, shout out to Unholy Blades, another fellow streamer and content creator. He's a member of that guild. Very insightful streams when he does stream, doing a lot of like arena playtesting and theory crafting and such. So I see the Ayaka, and I believe it's 1,000 magic total. So I believe this team is going to be some kind of double gunner Ayaka team, because I know he's really high level, sort of a whale like I am. So I'm expecting a higher magic value out of his Ayaka. So I'm expecting the 1,000 to just mean it's only an Ayaka for his magic value. Which is why I'm switching all of my things over to other more kind of defensive cards. And I want my normal setup because I'm expecting gunners. Now he could have something else with some magic, like it wouldn't be a Ramza because the magic value isn't high enough for that, but it could be something slight, something like maybe a Xiza, something like that, something that has like higher magic but not really high magic, but also 1600s or 1700s is a little low for double gunner. So I don't really know totally what to expect here. It could be another support, like maybe a Phoebe for Quicken or something. So I just kind of go in with a generic setup. So now I see the team. I was right about it being just an Ayaka for magic, or at least my initial guess. But the Vinera I was not totally expecting. So he also has all the evasion cards, so luck up, evasion up, got the high agility. So I know I'm in for a tough match. But at this point, I've switched my Victra over to Thief subjob. So now I have access to sneak attack, which is, you're going to see me kind of play this whole match around trying to get that sneak attack off. Because really that's my only guaranteed hit. And not having Ultima, not having Holy, it's really tough for me to deal with things like Vinera. And plus Lucia gets her own buff that gives her evasion up. Ayaka's got pretty high luck, so she also is pretty evasive, so I basically have to set up and play around like a quicken backstab type game plan for this match. So right now I'm just kind of seeing where I'm at with accuracy and such, but I couldn't actually get any sort of angle on him, so I just go back and buff. I like giving Victra Purify when she's not using bells, because it's a 42 TP move, so it usually lets her do at least 2 offensive abilities before she has to do something like Shadow Cast or an attack buff or something like that. So I'm trying to force him to come closer to me with the Vinera so that my Victra can get in range to do backstab. But I also have to be careful because if Vinera's on sub gunner, she has the horizontal shot, I think it's called, which is like the big shotgun blast, and that's no good if he can hit all 3 of my members with that ability. Not so fast. So I have to play this match a little more generic and fair. Just go for the haste. Don't try to get too cute with Quicken yet. Play smart and slow to try to overcome this sort of obstacle of a team that's in front of me. I do this a lot where I'm checking elevations and checking movement paths, because sometimes it's almost more useful to know what they're choosing not to do more than it is where they're actually going to end up. So what I mean by that is he could have chosen, say, to go all the way to the right on that top level to get a flank on my team. Not necessarily a good move, but that's a choice he had, right? So now I get to see, well, he didn't do that, so maybe I can gain some sort of information from that knowledge. So I like to always see where they could move to kind of put myself in their shoes and what decisions they could make to better understand what to expect from their next, say, 2 turns. It's hard to look too much further than, say, 2 turns ahead in this game, just because of how quickly things can change, how much buffs matter and CT and all that. So it's hard to kind of predict more than, say, 1 or 2 turns ahead, but you can at least see their general game plan of what they're trying to accomplish. So I'm just seeing here, it's a constant 0% from basically every angle to hit this Vinera, even with the Excalibur on Miranda. So I am not, this is going to be a rough match. Now I think that was a quicken. That's because Ayaka is in a position where I know Victra can get over that hill and onto a level to horizontal horizontal jump on Ayaka, and she also is going to get 2 turns because I'm going to go Victra, Rain, quicken resolve Victra again. So I'm hoping I can just kill that Ayaka. Now here I have to check the percent to hit on Lucia, but I see it's not enough. So go back to the original plan, which is just kill the Ayaka. So yeah, that's a easy one shot. Now I am going to lose my quicken here, which is why I hesitated for a second. But I'd rather, the whole point was to kill her anyway, so losing the quicken is unfortunate. But it seems much more worth it to get that Ayaka off the map. So this is just me checking percents to see if there's any hope whatsoever to get a hit in. I see there is not. So I might as well go for the 27% because there's nothing else I can do. The buffs aren't really going to do anything, and I have some AP to burn, so I'm just trying it out to see if I can get any sort of chip damage in, which I can't. Or rather I could, but the gamble failed. A lot of times when you don't have a team that can handle these comps, you just have to gamble. I preach this all the time, but it's honestly, you have to do it. Because otherwise you sit there and you just TP buff all game and don't get anything done. So I'm going to lose my Miranda here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Sharpshooter Miranda. So Miranda's done. That's one of my sources of healing gone, which is annoying. Because at this point, I'm starting to identify that I'm not getting a very... So here I'm going to go for the 51%, I think. Oh, I don't go for it? Oh, okay, I'm going for the higher range. Yep. So gotta go for the 51%. Again, gamble against a team like this when I'm not set up to beat him. But of course, gets the dodge. So Vinera's having some AP problems, as she does, which I'm also identifying as a point of weakness. So he can either alternate his skills, going TP, AP, TP, AP, or auto attack, AP, that kind of thing. So he can't really get too many crazy chains off, because his auto attacks are dealing less than 1,000 damage. So with my Kira healing 1,500, that means I can out-heal 2 Vinera attacks in a row, because typically she's not going to lap me, especially if I start staying still a lot more. So I'm identifying my win condition as potentially being just waiting this game out. So here I'm gonna go and try to stab. I don't care. It's gonna hurt Rain a little bit. He can't chain off the Pierce, and he's also not gonna one-shot me from his position right now. Now, had I been thinking a little more, I should probably check the AP of both of them to make sure there's not gonna be some crazy damage moves. But oh, okay, I tried to reduce the bravery. I forgot I ended up doing that. I thought about stabbing my own unit though, just to see if I could get the damage down onto Lucia. So if at this point, if I need to turtle to win, I need to be able to heal more than he's dealing damage. And I need to get at least one hit in so that my full health bars, or at least almost full health bars, is enough to win the tiebreak. So now this is the move that I identified another opening. So the thing about gunners and their attacks, they need to be a certain distance from you to hit you. But he has a tree on one side of him, and whatever, the ocean, sea, whatever on the other. So now I can box him in. And as soon as I saw that happen, that became my game plan. So I can't hit either of them. So I might as well just do Blazing Physique or some other kind of buff. And now I can kind of, this is the moment where I realize I can do it. %, why not? It's an auto attack. I have AP to do stuff if I really need to. Now Vinera has to figure out how to do damage to both of them more than I heal. And all it's going to take is one hit on this Lucia, and I have a chance to win. This is most likely him going through his abilities, checking distances, and realizing that he's in a pretty bad spot.
Yeah. Bring you joy.
Go for that 54% again. Here, I think about trying to go for the hit on her, just checking the percent, but I realize that it's way more worth it to just keep that Lucia in. And there's the hit I needed. He has no way to heal now, so all I have to do is outpace his damage with my healing. 1%. I should have went for that just for the, like, see if it happens. But might as well go for the small percent to kill her so I can move around. But if it misses, then I just continue with the same game plan. So poison would actually be pretty rough there, because it's 25% of your maximum health every turn. At least for her poison sting, that's what it does. Which is quite a bit of damage. That's why poison's actually really good against tanks, although a lot of tanks, people tend to keep their faith low, so the chance to actually poison is lower. So his I almost said RB. His LB can hit, which is unfortunate, but it's also only about 1800 damage, and he has 5000 something health. The reflex.
What's wrong?
But face Vinera, force her to go back in between my two characters and not have the high ground on me if he wants to keep getting, or rather not also have my side and the high ground if he wants to attack from there. I'm very glad, by the way, that you cannot Cura your opponent if they stand in your Cura. Because that'd be very unfortunate. for positions like this.
Bad.
Yeah, he's just trying to desperately get the damage out, but the cure is too much.
I think I might have found my resolve.
What's wrong?
Yeah, I think that's 3 misses on a 54%, so that's pretty good for him. Statistically, you'd expect at least, you know, one of those. I think I just Kira again to ensure the win. Yep. Plus Vinera's going to get to attack again, so whatever damage she does is just going to get healed off.
Now's my chance!
Hey up.
Thank you.
Take one last try on the 39.
What's wrong?
Miss. But I know Lucia can't do anything, so that is the game. Alright, so for round 2, I'm expecting him to use the same team because it's pretty effective and he can see that I don't have a lot of answers to it. However, because I know it's going to be highly evasive, I can put on some things like my Alexandrite ring. I can get my luck card on to try to undo some of his luck card. Also, I have the missile resist on Ramza to help against the Lucia's sharp shots to try to keep Xiza alive. Xiza charm is another nice way, or just any charm in general, is a nice way to combat evade teams, because if you can charm their evade unit, they often can't uncharm their own evade unit, and then it gets to do either buffs on your team, or it will hit their other members. Potentially it misses, but you at least take it out of the fight for a while. So I find that to be extremely valuable in combating these teams, and it's actually been a big part of my strategy recently in dealing with them, since my I don't have the better luck card, and also I don't have like a perfect Alexandrite ring or things like that. So definitely a weak point of mine. If you want to beat me, use heavy evade and make sure that I can't see it. Like putting Ayaka up front is great because it hides whatever. She can go in basically any comp. So I think we saw in my round 2 against Locke, he used Ayaka with Double Gunner. He's using Ayaka with Vinera and Lucia. Some people use it with, say, Orlando and Ramza. She can go with anybody. So you have to be able to interpret the magic and attack values to try to accurately predict what they're using. But oftentimes it's very difficult to do so. The point of that being, it's hard to perfectly predict with your vision cards. And as this game develops more too, people are going to do more of what I'm doing, which is kind of trying to metagame based on formations. And eventually we might get to a point where it's too much and people want to swap back and forth constantly while they're playing, and that could be a problem. But for now, I think it's fine. I think people kind of have their strong compositions, and they're not going to change their units as often as they're going to change their vision cards. And the vision cards, you can't. There's only so many choices you have. Eventually it's going to kind of hit that kind of exponential, I don't know if it's decay or what the term is. Basically the curve is going to flatten out as you both tweak your setups. So I'm just confirming that he's still on the same evasive setup.
How about I give you some special attention? I'll bring you down in a snap.
Thank you. I'm not sure I can be of much use, but I will do my best.
Also, another note on stopping evade teams. Things like sleep and stop also prevent evasion, which is really helpful.
There's no way you can follow my movements.
So here I'm just gonna start with Rallying Cry, get the team moving a little quicker. His team is overall faster than mine, so I gotta try to keep up a little bit. Especially with, I believe Ayaka is on Time Mage sub, so she gets to haste everybody. I'm just gonna keep Xiza there, try to get the next turn of buffs quicker, plus I also get to put Illusion on all three if she stays there. So that's the only thing about her going first, is that it makes it awkward for Orlando to Illusion buff the whole team if she moves at all. Because there's no real cross configuration I want to move into. So instead I just stay still. So now my game plan, as normal with Ramza and my team, is shout, or shout other buff, or whatever it is to get to Ultima, and try to one-shot the Vinera. Now the only issue with that plan, though, against this team is they do have an Ayaka, so even if I get that kill on the evasive unit, whether it be through like an RNG strategy or if it's through Ultima, like a guaranteed hit, if they get full lifed, that's really bad. It's really bad, okay?
Struggle.
I was splitting up the team a little bit to make him make a decision where he wants his units to go, and also kind of challenging De Lucia to walk up to get that sharpshoot off, because then I get to try to attack him with Sid, and Sid has the Nagnarok, so he's gonna have a better chance at hitting her, but he decides to buff up, which is probably smart. Although being on that side of the wall is a little, if I do hit, it's kind of rough. The 8%.
Good work.
So here I'm just trying to interpret what he's going to choose to do with his Vinera and why she's moving where she is. So she just passes the turn, so obviously she wants to get into to do some sort of either damage or confuse Snipe Dagger. Here I'm just trying to set up a nice Sid LB potentially on the 2 wind units. I expect he's going to keep his Ayaka out of threat range this game, though. And if he does move up, it's going to be to reapply haste during turns that she's not really in danger. So here I'm just seeing if I can do my own Snipe Dagger, but I'm out of range. So I was going to stand there, but then I realized Holy is the thing that I do not want to have happen. So I think I just, yeah, I apply Shadowcast here just to get the extra little bit of evasion, and then I just go up to the top so she can kind of choose what to do. I should have faced the other way. That was a mistake, but... So hitting both units is pretty rough. Typically you predict to only take damage from 1 unit at a time, so AoE can really throw a wrench into your plans whenever you have a unit that can heal or other units that can't heal or whatever else. So here I think I go for the crit, probably, yep. And then Xiza can run up behind and throw a dagger at her. So I'm very surprised that doesn't kill, especially with the shout buff on. So that's really disappointing that I can't get the insta-kill. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout buff here, and I'm going to run down on the bridge to force her to commit to... Oh, maybe not. Okay. Normally I would want to run down on the bridge to force the units to get closer to me, and then to face an awkward direction if they don't kill me. Because you got to face one way or the other, and then you're pincered on both sides by units. In that case, he would have to give me his sides on both sides and face like towards the, he'd have to put his back to the side of the bridge and give me the side bonus so that I can't get a back bonus. So he lost his turn there, which is pretty rough. So I don't know why I chose... I mean, stealing heart here is great, especially because it hit. But I believe I could have confused daggered the Ayaka. So I'm a bit... I don't remember why I did that. I think maybe I just didn't want him to kill my Ramza, and I figured the Vinera could do damage to the Ayaka after she heals the team. Yeah, because I knew he was going to LB. Which I guess that's what it was. So I wanted Vinera to turn around and do damage to Ayaka after this LB goes off. Yeah. Which is also nice because I know that Sid couldn't one-shot her, but with that damage on her, now he can. Which actually, that might have been my train of thought as well. Not trying to give myself more credit than I deserve, but I think that actually, now that I see the, that I remember it didn't one-shot, the Crush Armor didn't one-shot her the first time, I think that might have actually been part of why I made this decision. And then he hits his own unit, which puts her in Ultima range, which is a massive mistake. Very big mistake. And then here I go for the Night Veil just to see if I can hit both of them. Night Veil does a lot of damage, by the way. And it actually does hit the Lucia too, which is super lucky. I didn't see the percent chance, but I imagine it was low. So then the Ultima here is going to kill the Vinera, and then the game is basically over. And the reason I moved so far up with Ramza is I want to be able to chase down that Lucia with more than just Sid, in case something weird happens where Sid either misses a bunch or can't hit her or whatever else. Or not can't hit her, gets killed. Something like that. But this game is all but over at this point. Go for the 70%, nail it, and GG to MadKing.
What a crushing defeat for our enemy.
That's pretty rude. Yeah, on to round 5.